Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Thursday, a big day, July 20th. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us here on the audio version. We've got these video versions going now, too. You can check it out on YouTube. Let's see, the videos now are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, we're going to see. And then I think we're trying to figure out TikTok. The thing is I have to shoot it one time. And the aspect ratios of these formatted for the phone, which is really kind of Instagram and TikTok, is kind of not my style. So we're going to see. I love the presence there, but I got to figure out how to make it all work. But those of you who have commented favorably and you like seeing a picture's worth 1,000 words, yeah, you just go check it out. It's all under the Fun Astrology Podcast banner. Okay, let's take a look at today's chart because this is a rock and roll deal. 9:06 this morning. First of all, to start the day, the sun trines Neptune. And all I can say is thank goodness for that because we need it. And the thing that I would say is probably the closest for me on that is pull off the mask. Pull off the mask from ourselves and pull off the mask from the world. How many of you have wanted to just go stand outside and scream, "Stop lying to me"? Well, that's the sun on a positive trine aspect with Neptune right now. Neptune, by the way, at 27.5 degrees of its way through Pisces, the later degrees of Pisces, saying, isn't it time we just started to see this correctly? Isn't it time we started to tell the truth? And this is a water sign, so this is going into our emotions, the depth of our spiritual connections, and in this case, kind of our spiritual tether. Because right now, if you don't have a connection to the home office, if you don't have a cord to, as Robert said as we were recording the other day, the all that is, the source, if you don't have that plug, the rest of this chart is going to be a bit of a challenge. So it's also a great time to game up on your spiritual practice. This is a trine with you, with the sun, with your light, with who you are. The energy is free for the grabbing. You just have to grab it. Hold on to that trine because now let's talk about the rest of the day. Okay, so part of the rest of the day is the moon leaving Leo, going into Virgo, 1:12 this afternoon Eastern Time. And I've got to say, I don't listen to other astrology podcasts or stuff because I just want to come up with my own soap. So I don't really want to be influenced by others' opinions. I don't look at other stuff. I just get in here and read the chart, roll up my sleeves. But what I have had a couple of people mention is that there is a lot of talking about what's in this chart this week. I mean, we're getting ready next to talk about the two malefics opposite each other. And then tomorrow, the sun is going to be opposite Pluto directly. So all of that energy is combining into today. And see, I look at this, even though the moon is not in detriment or fall in Virgo, it is seemingly to me to be in conflict with the rest of this energy. Because right inside the door, it meets hot Mars. Virgo wants organization, structure, connection to Earth. It wants to know that it is somewhat in control and that it is patternable. And none of these other aspects in the chart are willing to accommodate that request. It's like, good luck with that. So what else do we have? These two Yods. We've been talking about them. And the big one that we've been with, the one that has Pluto and Neptune at the base and Venus and Mars at the top, is now joined by the moon at the top. I mean, you could talk about the fated side of that, but you could also just talk about the tension side of that right now. We covered that yacht extensively last week. If you didn't catch that episode, I'd refer you back to where we did talk about it. Can't remember the date, don't have it in front of me, but it was one of last week's episodes. And then this second one that we talked about on Tuesday with Neptune at the top, and now the moon and Venus at one side of the base with the south node at the other. This will all be on the video podcast if you'd like to check that out, YouTube or Instagram, one of them. But we'll show you what this looks like. And then let's throw these two big aspects on top of this. So at 4:39, let's call it 4:40 this afternoon, Mars is directly opposite Saturn. And then I guess it's about 32 hours later, tomorrow, so we'll be applying to this all through today and all through tomorrow, 11:52, so just barely short of midnight tomorrow night, Eastern Time, the sun is directly opposite Pluto. And see, this is this whole conflicted, opposing, challenging energy that sets up this Venus retrograde on Saturday, which we will talk more about tomorrow. So let's spend the rest of our time together here not talking about the mundane, not talking about the shadow. If something shows up in your life on that side, you know why. It's there. And you just work through it. If you're on your highest timeline, you use that pull as something to say, hey, let's deal with this issue in my life. So open it up and be accepting and willing to take on the challenge. It's for your good that it's there if you're on your highest timeline. We're going to set those who are not aside because it's just too big with this chart to even think about it. But let's think about how we can play this energy to our advantage. There is really not any part of this chart that is not involved in this picture. Even the nodes of the moon are tied in by squares. Uranus is tied in by a trine and squares. So everything is involved. The whole chart right now is one big laser beam of personal transformation. And as I'm posting these videos now and looking around on some of these sites, I'm seeing a lot about people are saying that even going back, it's about a month ago now, or maybe 6 weeks ago, when the Schumann resonance chart was all that in that beautiful tapestry of what looked like sacred geometry. It was on a Sunday and Monday for us here in the United States, but a lot of people are pointing back to that time, or they're saying, yes, recently time is moving faster, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this chart is certainly indicating that. Every guide planet, as above, so below, that we have in the sky are all together in harmony, pointing us, asking us, prodding us, coaxing us. Will you shed what doesn't serve you, and will you come to the higher ground? If you interpret the Yod as a point of destiny, it's like our souls being here right now together in this time and space, that we're appointed to do this if we choose. So I know we've talked about this so much on here, but this is really one of those seasons. This is a moment in time and moment in the sky where we have the universal support to go so deep inside and to really examine our lives on the deepest level we ever have before. And know that if we are willing to take the risk to let go of stuff that does not serve us, that the outcome of that is going to be the new higher ground where we're going in this transformation. I don't know what's ahead of us between now and then. This chart would say, a train wreck. I mean, it's like we don't know what's going to happen around us, but we can choose what's happening within us. And that's the message of this chart. Choose wisely. Choose your highest timeline. Don't let all the noise get around and confuse you, because that's what it will try to do. Stay your ground. Stay strong. We've got this. We'll stay together, and we will end up on top. If you want a community around this, join our Facebook group. It's on Facebook, the Subconscious Mind Mastery and Fun Astrology podcast listeners. We'd love to have you over there so we can support each other during the week. Thanks so much. We'll see you back tomorrow.